A lot of people follow me here because you're big fans of fasting, and so am I. Fasting is one of the most powerful tools to improve health and to preserve our health. But I hear the same thing from you over and over again. Dr. Erin, I can't fast. I feel like I'm starving. I'm miserable the whole time. I'm failing at it. And you're wondering why this is so hard for you and how to make it easier. When I read questions like this, I want you to know from my perspective, your problem is very clear. If fasting feels impossible for you, if you start to fast and you somehow feel unsafe somewhere in your brain, you start to feel anxious, you feel increased pressure to eat and increased hunger, that's because your body and your brain are still dependent on the sugar in your diet. And that severe discomfort that you feel is sugar withdrawal. It's not a personal weakness, and it's certainly not a failure. It's simply a correction that needs to be made in the way that you're eating. And that's what we're going to talk about today. The comment I get that bothers me the most is this: I read or someone told me that fasting isn't safe. This statement can't possibly be more false. I beg of you to start reading all the thousands of comments I get on my fasting videos from around the world. Go ahead, fasting friends, start leaving your comments now and telling people about how fasting has radically changed your health and improved your life. I promise you, friend, I'm not paying people to leave comments. Also, we have thousands of years of human history that support fasting. This concept that we need to constantly eat in order to be healthy is brand new. And that didn't come from science. It comes from our modern food environment and food manufacturers who care nothing about your health and only care about keeping you addicted for profit. And we're currently accumulating some more modern proof. Ozempic and other GLP-1 drugs have proven once and for all that lowering calories does improve your health and lead to weight loss. So the argument that you can't lower intake is over. But Ozempic is also proving something else. You can't just suppress your appetite forever and call that health. Weight loss alone does not make for a healthy body. That's why so many of our Ozempic friends need to come back and learn the same foundation that you do, how to eat in a way that actually builds a healthy, strong body. And this is where I want to bring you back to the reason why fasting feels so hard for so many people. Because while I teach a lot about fasting, I spend the majority of my time teaching people how to eat properly first, even inside my fasting program. You can't hope to heal during fasting if you haven't provided your body the basic nutrients it needs to do the work. And the basic nutrients are protein and healthy fat. That's why all your health experts seem to be obsessed with these. And what do you not need? Carbs, aka sugar. Not only does your body not need sugar, but it actually gets in the way of the healing and gets in the way of the fat loss. And I like to say, sugar calls to sugar. Sugar increases your hunger. And believe me, I know what you're thinking. If you follow me here, you're probably already very health conscious. You're probably thinking, sugar isn't my problem. I don't even eat that much sugar. But if you struggle to fast in even part of your day, let alone more than 24 hours, there is definitely too much sugar in what you're eating, and it's probably in the foods that you think are healthy. Case in point, that apple a day garbage. If you're eating a lot of fruit and still wondering why fasting feels impossible, that's your problem. Fruit is nature's dessert, and just because nature made it doesn't mean that you should be eating it in unlimited quantities. For those of you who are familiar with the Bible, that apple story didn't exactly end well, did it? It basically led to the downfall of man. So don't believe everything you hear. That apple a day slogan is basically just an advertisement for apples. Your healthy veggies contain quite a bit of sugar as well. Okay, and now I'm gonna have all the vegetarians and nutritionists coming after me about complex carbs and fiber. This isn't about demonizing fruits and vegetables, but it is about understanding where is sugar and how does your body handle sugar. Because not everybody has the ability to handle it the same. And when I say I want you to learn how to reduce sugar, I'm not just talking about cookies and brownies. Sugar equals carbs, and carbs are everywhere. But no matter where they come from, and even if they don't taste sweet, which is many carbs, Inside your body, they're all just sugar. If you want to know more about exactly which vegetables and fruits are the good guys and the bad guys, I teach that in this video. And if you want to learn more about how to read labels and find all the sneaky sugars in your manufactured food, watch this video. You'll find loads of videos on my channel of me talking about why and how to reduce sugar. Because keeping sugar low is not just for diabetics. Sugar control is part of excellent health for everyone. Every healthy person should be actively reducing sugar in their diet, not because you're looking to reverse sickness, but because sugar quietly damages health long before disease shows up. Sugar causes inflammation, and inflammation causes damage. So the higher your blood sugar runs, and the more often it runs high, the more damage you're doing. When damage accumulates, this creates disease. So when I diagnose somebody with diabetes in the ER, it's not the beginning of their disease, it's the end of a long cascade of damage that's been going on inside their body for a very long time. Once you have diabetes, it means your body can no longer handle sugar at all, which means your damage is going to rapidly increase. This is why emergency rooms and all of our hospitals are filled with people who are pre-diabetic and diabetic. They are among the sickest people in your community. And typically, they have been getting warning signs for years. That's why I care so much about educating you early. Early warning signs of diabetes include constant fatigue, brain fog, feeling hungry all the time, inability to control your cravings, uncontrollable weight gain, especially in your belly, blood pressure creeping up, cholesterol creeping up, skin tags, poor sleep, frequent infections, or slow wound healing. Some late signs include peeing all the time, blurring of your vision, or tingling or pain in your hands and feet. Many people blow these things off. They blame it on aging or they blame it on stress. It's very common to be tested and told everything is normal. And that's because you don't have the diagnosis of diabetes yet. But remember, by the time diabetes gets its name, your window of opportunity is already narrowing. The standard American diet walks us straight into the path of diabetes. That's why more than half of adults either have it or are on their way to it. And it's why these symptoms have become so normalized that we ignore them. Many people think of diabetes as genetic. And yes, there is a tiny genetic component to diabetes. But type 2 and gestational diabetes, the diabetes we see often in pregnancy, are almost entirely driven by what we eat. So while diabetes runs in families, it's typically because of the eating pattern that runs in the family, not the genetics. People that have a high family prevalence of diabetes are well aware that diabetes can cause them to go blind, cause them to lose limbs, develop heart attacks, kidney disease, and strokes earlier, that it leads to congestive heart failure and dementia and severe limb pain. Our patients know this, but what they don't often know is that all of it is preventable by just learning to keep your blood sugar low early on. And that's on us. In the medical community, we are still teaching diabetics to focus on fruits and vegetables. And certainly, that's better than candy bars, but it may not be enough. It's also on us that we drop the term sugar diabetes. For reasons that are beyond this discussion, doctors decided to stop calling it sugar diabetes and instead name it diabetes mellitus type 1 and type 2. We essentially erased the warning and the understanding that it is sugar that causes diabetes. The older generations know this. The younger generations do not. And that's scary. The youngest generation has no idea that they should be seeking to avoid sugar, nor do they know where exactly sugar can be found. They also don't connect that it's sugar that makes them feel like garbage each and every day, and sugar that is causing the tremendously high levels of anxiety and depression, which are intimately related to the peaks and troughs of sugar use and sugar withdrawal. I think of sugar just like alcohol. Inside your body, they do the same type of damage. And while some people can tolerate it, most people should limit the use or avoid it altogether. In this metaphor, diabetics are like alcoholics. For diabetics, sugar is not safe fuel. fuel. Moderation will not work. Moderation can help you manage your disease, but will not erase it. From an ER doctor's perspective, diabetes is a disaster. It should be treated like your pants are on fire, and you should work to erase it and reverse it as quickly as possible. Let me bring this back full circle. Most people who are struggling with fasting and feel like they're failing at fasting are simply failing to control hunger. That's why so many people are turning to GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic. These drugs help give them control, and yes, that's an option. But the easier, safer, and less expensive option is simply reducing sugar. Sugar is inflammatory, and sugar increases hunger because of its addictive quality. By removing sugar, you remove the problem, and you preserve your appetite for protein and healthy fat, the nutrients you need to maintain strength and good health. GLP-1 drugs work to quiet hunger, but reducing sugar actually fixes what's causing it. This is why I teach all about sugar reduction. Diabetes and disease doesn't start in the ER. It starts in your kitchen, and that's where I would rather meet it. I teach a monthly virtual course called Jumpstart Sugar Detox. Join me if you want to test yourself and see just how healthy your diet is. If you come through my experiment with flying colors, you're likely eating a very low sugar diet, one that you'll want to continue to maintain your health. If you have problems, I'm there to help you and there to show you what exactly needs to change. I'm going to leave the link below for that course. You can find it at jumpstartsugardetox.com. And if you want to go deeper, I just released my book, Sugar Be Sugarin', aptly named for all the problems we associate with sugar. My book explains exactly how we got here and how to get out. You can find my book on Amazon, and I'll leave the link for it below. Until next time, friends, let me know if this discussion was helpful for you. If it was, please drop a like and leave me a comment. And please share this with someone who needs this information. Let's keep saving lives together.